This is a 2-portion dish. Obviously you can multiply it up nice and easy, or you could even scale it down, because it's not that difficult to scale down. Randomly enough, we were just talking about some of the deals that Sainsbury's, say deals, but the reduced bit. I always find reduced fish and I always find reduced turkey steaks. Went across to Sainsbury's and what did I find? Some fresh smoked haddock and the reduced bit. So these, I've got 2 packs. We're going to be using a pack and a half for this dish. So it's, I suppose typically people might have sort of gone with the 1 pack being 2 portions, which is okay. It's just a little bit light for us. We prefer a little bit more protein. We're actually using 180 grams of fish per portion. You know, you just make your choice. So I'm gonna save this because I'm probably gonna have that for breakfast tomorrow with some eggs. And then that means that this should be around about 380 grams. 360 grams, beg your pardon, 360 grams. We're gonna do some leeks. We're gonna sweat them down in a little bit of butter while we get the cauliflower rice sorted. And it's the cauliflower rice that obviously forms the main part of the dish. Don't want the heat on too high, we just want to sweat the leeks down. We're not trying to fry them golden brown. We need a fair bit of moisture in the pan for this dish, so the heat needs to be sort of a medium heat rather than a red hot heat. We will be using a lid. We will be using, and because I haven't got any other made stock other than beef, that's not really going to go with smoked haddock. Going to use a little bit of the bouillon to make a small amount of stock, but we don't need much. It has got starch in it, so similar to using things like arrowroot and those sorts of things, we're only using a very, very small amount. Right, while those are sweating down, I just need to quickly rice the cauliflower.
So you've got leaves in there as well?
Yeah, if they're good fresh leaves, then just, you know, you can rice those as well. If they're limp and dark and sort of like quite tough on the outside, then they're not going to make a nice nice rice. So I've just cut it into sort of slightly smaller chunks, just so the blender or the food processor will work. So, a little bit chunky still, but it's entirely up to you this really, whether you want it chunky. I'm going to let it go one more cycle. This was 400 grams of cauliflower and the leaf, yeah? It's all the same. Okay, again, don't have the heat on too high. We don't want to be frying this, as in sending it golden brown, losing all of the moisture, because we're only going to add a little bit of stock to this and then sit the fish on top and let the rice cook in the little bit of moisture. So let's just turn that down for a second while I get the fish ready. So I've got some lazy garlic here. It's pure garlic in white wine vinegar. And there's no additives in there at all.
So this is just because you forgot the clove at the beginning?
This is because I forgot to fry the fresh off with the leeks. I hadn't read the recipe.
Always helps, you know, reading the recipe. So I'm using it. That would have been about sort of 4 or 5 grams. Cauliflower rice is in with the garlic. Smells better now. Little bit of stock. So with the recipe we're using, this bouillon was 5 grams. just a little bit of water, yeah, about 100 mils of water. I've got 150 in there, I'll be able to get rid.
Is that from the kettle tap?
That's from our kettle tap. There you go. Right, that's going in now. This is such an easy dish because now it's just the fish. So I've got here, we can have a chat in a minute, well, because this doesn't take long to cook either. You have like 10 minutes because all we're going to do is layer the fish on top and then just let it sort of cook for, you know, 10 minutes. And again, these are, because I bought the fresh fillets, they're skinned already. If you buy it frozen, you generally have to sort of take the skin off, if you don't want the skin, that is. We tend to take the skin off for this dish, or for any of these sort of like poached dishes. And just cut it into little bite-sized pieces. The rice is bubbling away in the stock. There's plenty of moisture in there. We don't want it to boil dry. Lay the fish on top. You don't have to be precise about laying it, you can just dump it on, but I'm just going to go round. Nice. Right, so I've just layered the fish on top of the rice. Medium heat. Pop the lid back on. Cooked because it turns obviously white. I don't even need to sort of prod it, but you can sort of see how it's gone white and it's gone firm as well. So this is basically done. Here's the thing, especially with sort of like smoked haddock like that, is you don't want to now overcook it. You don't want it to just disintegrate. It's got quite a nice texture to it. It's soft. It's already a soft fish. You don't want to overcook it. I don't know how long that's taken actually, but it's probably less than, you know, 5 or 6 minutes just to get it to the perfect point. Just a little bit of mixing in, just to sort of combine it. Let's get the parsley in. But I am going to be adding a little bit of dill to that as well. There we go. About half a teaspoon of dill. And again, just gently, just combine it, the green all the way through. There's a little bit of moisture left in the bottom of the pan. That's, again, it's what you want. You don't want it drying out. This is entirely up to you. You can, I mean, on the recipe it says sour cream. I've got some creme fraiche open, so I'm going to use that rather than sour cream. Either mix it into here or serve it, and then if, like Ella's not a massive fan of too much, I'm only going to put a little bit in, but you can then just dollop it on top. So again, just combine, it's just a couple of teaspoons. That sour cream, creme fraiche, is going to mix with the water, a little bit of stock that's left, and it's going to coat it. And that's a dish from scratch, 30 minutes. I mean, that's such a quick dish. If you were using packets of cauliflower rice, that could be ready in less than 15 minutes.